The internet is obsessed with obsession, and honestly, we get it. But what if we got Nikki completely wrong? Since Kari Barker's horror hit release, fans have been digging through the film's many hidden clues, but there's one insane theory that had us sprinting for a second watch. What if Nikki's break-free moments weren't random at all, and what if the real villain was hiding in plain sight the whole time? Let's break it down. The movie follows male protagonist Bear, a timid guy who has a major crush on his work colleague Nikki. One night he makes a wish using a one-wish willow toy, which is immediately granted, but comes with some seriously terrifying consequences that make Nikki into a possessive and obsessive version of herself. Fans have been going wild over one specific theory that has gone completely viral for all the right reasons. Let's get into the mirror theory. Throughout the film, we see Nikki randomly breaking free from the one-wish willow's curse as she momentarily becomes herself again. Sometimes just for a few seconds, and sometimes long enough to beg Bear to kill her.
Just kill me.
At first, these moments feel completely random, as though Nikki is simply fighting the curse. But after rewatching the film, we began thinking, what causes Nikki to suddenly become herself, and then lose control again? The first clue appears only minutes after Bear makes his wish.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the world.
Nikki approaches the car in her creepy trance, then glances into the rearview mirror of the car, and immediately afterwards her expression shifts. She looks confused, almost frightened, like she's suddenly aware something isn't right. Like, for just a moment, the real Nikki comes back to herself.
Wait, what the
What the Are you okay?
I'm acting so weird.
After this, Nikki is back to being creepy Nikki, but is sitting in the car with her head on the dashboard, perhaps avoiding the reflection of the car window. At this point, it could just be a coincidence. One reflection isn't enough to build a theory, but as we keep watching, we notice something even stranger. Nikki just doesn't seem to react to reflections, she almost appears to avoid them altogether. Here's where the evidence to back this theory really gets going. Later that night, Bear wakes to find Nikki silently watching him sleep. As she slowly backs away, she keeps her back to the bedroom mirror, hugging the walls instead of simply walking across the room. Then, just before she passes it, she lifts a flower vase directly in front of her face, which is such an oddly specific action that it raises a question. Why? Fans believe she's doing everything she can to avoid catching her own reflection.
For Sandy, okay?
And then comes one of the creepiest scenes in the movie. Nikki is left alone, obsessively waiting for Bear to return home. But rather than go to the bathroom when she's sick, she vomits and pisses all over the carpet instead. Rank. If the mirror theory is right, this isn't a random act of rage. It could be the moment the real Nikki briefly regains consciousness, realizing what's happening to her and destroying the very thing that allowed her to snap back to herself.
So I think maybe I'll just go?
The next clue backs this theory even more. In the party scene, although there aren't any obvious mirrors in sight, fans believe Nikki catches a glimpse of herself in the curved glass of the wine bottle Bear is holding. Almost instantly, she snaps back to herself. If our theory is true, this isn't a random outburst. It's more proof of how the real Nikki is becoming aware of what's happening to her. And then comes the film's most heartbreaking scene. When the cursed, creepy Nikki is asleep, the real Nikki manages to break through just long enough to secretly whisper a desperate plea to Bear.
Please don't wake her up. Just kill me.
This is the moment that completely changes how you see her character, as the audience realizes that Nikki really is trapped inside her own body and would rather die than live as a prisoner within herself. Interestingly, this is the longest period Nikki ever regains control. Whether the curse weakens while Nikki sleeps, or whether Barker is using sleep as a metaphor for Nikki finally breaking through her subconscious, it's impossible to say for certain. But both interpretations lead to the same harrowing conclusion: Nikki was never gone. She was there the entire time, trapped inside her own body, unable to stop the horror unfolding around her. So the mirror theory has definitely got our attention, but there's another that's made our hair stand on end, pun intended. Let's get into the cat theory. The internet has run absolutely wild with this one, as some eagle-eyed fans notice the many references to cats throughout the film, as well as Nikki's creepy feline behaviours. It sounds like a reach, but hear us out. First of all, the One Wish Willow packaging is made by a company called Tubby Cat Curiosities, and Bear's own cat, Sandy, dies right before the cursed toy enters the narrative. Once cursed, Nikki starts creeping silently around the house, tiptoeing like a cat, hiding in dark corners, and even holding her hands in a paw-like position. She watches Bear while he sleeps and suddenly lashes out before becoming affectionate again, as many cat owners can attest to. She even vomits on the carpet, which looks a lot like cat kibble throw up, by the way. Maybe she's been eating it and her human stomach can't digest it, and even brought him a dead animal, his own cat, as a gift, just like cats do for their usually less than impressed owners. But fans think there could even be a connection between the mirror and the cat theory, as unlike humans, cats generally don't recognize themselves in reflections the way we do. Many rely more on smell and hearing than vision to identify themselves, so mirrors don't carry the same meaning for them. If something with cat-like instincts were controlling Nikki, a mirror could become a moment where that control falters. A chink in the chain of control, if you will. Some fans are even suggesting Sandy's soul could have in some way possessed Nikki. Maybe that's a reach, but the cat imagery is definitely there. Whether it points to literal evil kitty possession or simply reinforces the film's themes of intrinsic animalistic behavior, we might never know for sure. But the animal conspiracies don't end with cats. People have also connected the dots on a clever theory surrounding the name of the protagonist, Bear, and how it could be oh so intentional, but also oh so disturbing. Let's move on to the Bear theory. Obsession was filmed in October 2024, just a few months after the man or bear debate completely took over social media. If you somehow missed it, the viral question asked women, if you were alone in the woods, would you rather come across a strange man or a bear? The overwhelming response surprised a lot of people, as millions of women chose the bear.
Bear.
A bear. 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 A bear. A bear.
Not because bears are harmless, but because they felt more predictable than the potential risks posed by an unknown man. Now, there's no confirmation that Kari Barker named his protagonist Bear after this viral trend, and it could be nothing more than a coincidence. But considering the timing and the themes Obsession explores, such as consent, entitlement, and rejection, it's hard not to wonder if it was intentional. And if that's true, it means the film was telling us who the real danger was from the very beginning. At the start, Bear is presented as a sympathetic protagonist. He's awkward, shy, and hopelessly in love with his friend. But if you look closer, red flags are flying literally everywhere, even when she asks him directly if he likes her.
Do you like me?
He chickens out, lies, and says they're just friends. He never risks rejection, and Nikki never gets the chance to say yes or no to a relationship with him. Instead, Bear makes a wish that removes her ability to choose altogether. What's really interesting is that Bear's behaviour never changes and actually just gets more problematic as the film goes on. Even after he realises the curse has turned Nikki into someone dangerous, or even after she begs him to kill her, he reacts in true toxic fashion and makes it about himself, replying with,
What's so bad about being with me?
He also does himself no favours when he calls One Wish Willow's customer support and doesn't once ask how to free Nikki, but instead asks if the wish can be amended. This is a really important distinction because even after all the glaringly obvious alarm bells, he's still trying to make the relationship work, just in a way that's less frightening for him, without considering Nikki's position at all. Then comes one of the film's most chilling moments, when the customer service representative asks if Bear would like to speak to Nikki, and in the background you can hear her screaming. It's a tiny detail, but it reinforces that the real Nikki never disappeared. She's just a passenger inside her own body the entire time, aware of everything, but powerless to stop it, which makes the adult scenes in the film particularly disturbing as it again raises the major issue of consent. So, are we completely overthinking this? Maybe, but that's half the fun. The best horror films leave just enough unanswered for fans to keep digging, and Obsession has done exactly that. Which theory do you actually believe? Have we missed an even bigger clue hiding in plain sight? Let us know in the comments because our obsession with this film is definitely not over yet.